Hi guys, I'm Dutchess. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here, but I'm live and I'm going to share some thoughts I have and some experiences that I have had. This is my cat Cornica. If you don't know her, she's making biscuits currently. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for people to come in, and while I wait for people to come in, this is a spiritual channel, if you couldn't tell by the title. So I'm going to say a prayer and set my intentions. Hi guys, people are starting to come in. I'm just gonna start out with setting my intentions. Benevolent guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, star family, higher self, Yeshua, Baal, Orion, God's source, I humbly come to you today on behalf of myself and all those watching and just say thank you for everything that you bless us within our lives. And I ask please that you make me a messenger for the divine, nothing more, nothing less. Let no truth be told for a lie, no lie be told for truth. Let all the information that comes through be kind, palatable, and easy to understand. And please, source, just let it come from source. Let it run through Christ consciousness so I'm not rude or off-putting. And yeah, please just move me, move my words, my actions, my channeling. I pray all of this with the purest of hearts and the best of intentions. Amora Ashe Namaste. By the power of three Samotive, be always works, always a blessing. Hi, what's up guys? How you doing? You made it for alive. Heck yes. This is crazy. I was literally just thinking about you. You probably heard me. Yay, hello. Hope you're doing amazing. Hi, Sasha. I am doing good. Thank you. How are you doing? Hi. If you need help, you can book a reading or a spiritual counseling. I have a lot of free content on here too if you can't do that. Hi, I'm happy you're here too. Glad you made it for alive. You like the orange? Thanks. You like my orange glasses? I love you, girl. Thank you. I love you, Grill. Hi, Jared. What's up? Hi, Madison. Peace to everyone in the chat. What's up, guys? Can you pick two colors? I want to do a little painting during the live. Orange and orange. Just kidding. Orange, yellow, and pink. That would be my choice. I was thinking how I wish you did a live. So weird. Here I am. It worked. So I want to talk about, so in my daily tarot today, hi. Also, I'm going to go through my emails after this. I will go through them tonight. We've got, this is the last chance to sign up for the guided meditation tomorrow. And also, the luck and money spell will be Tuesday. So if you want to, what? Oh my god, the painting I did yesterday was orange. Yay, perfect colors. Yay. The luck and money spell is also, up, and that, I think that closes tomorrow. So yeah, we'll be doing that. Cornica, she's so silly. But I did want to come on and just share a little something because I got a little, I don't know. I guess triggered by one of the comments on like the daily reading. Because somebody had commented that the advice that I was giving about like how much money and energy and things that you have in life is like directly related to how much you value yourself, and they felt as though I was like blaming people for the abuse that the systems put on them. And I think if you truly know me and my channel, you know that I am a victim of the abuse of the systems. I clawed my way out of them and created a new life for myself literally from scratch. I talk about it all the time. And so that was a difficult comment for me to process, as I completely disagree, and that's not the energy that I was putting out in any way. I'm not blaming anybody for anything that they're going through, ever. I'm simply just here sharing my personal experiences and advice that has worked for me as an individual. That also helps a lot of, I have like over 1,000 clients, and my advice helps them because they continue to come back. So I guess I wanted to clear the air on that was not the point I was making this morning. I was simply trying to give advice. I was not trying to be victim blaming at all. But let me just see what you guys are saying. They probably got deeply triggered without realizing. Yeah, me too. It triggered me so bad that I'm sitting here on live about to give some information that helped me to escape the system. So I guess it's all's well that ends well, right? Because I'm about to get raw and real and explain myself, and hopefully you can take these explanations and apply them in your life. And guess what? If they don't work for you, that's fine too. That, like, if this advice doesn't help you, that's okay. Like, one size isn't gonna fit all. And please only ever know that I'm only ever trying to help. I'm not here trying to shame anyone. I'm not here trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm only ever, even when I come off really passionate or angry, I think it's because I'm coming from, it really is that passion, and I'm coming from a place of, like, seeing injustice or things like that. And so I'm, like, speaking out passionately or angry, and it's never because I want to hurt people or coming from a place of malice. It's always because I see something that makes me feel uncomfortable, or I feel, like, upset for a group of people that's being taken advantage of. It's never coming from a place of, like, this is to make you feel less worthy. This is to make you feel like your abuse is your own fault. Like, it's just not me. It's just not me. Hey, baby Pico. Hi, Sunshine Dragon. I love your daily tarot. It makes me feel so connected to the universe. I look forward to it every day. Good, I'm glad. If it don't apply, let it fly. Exactly. Like Big Empress Energy says. I honestly feel so connected to the channel. This topics on your channel always relate to my life in some way. Awesome. Good. Don't worry, people like you bring on the change. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. Hi, Yana. How you doing? What's up, guys? I emailed Lizzie. Hopefully she gets it. Are you aware of cosmic agency? I don't know exactly what that means. I might be aware of it under a different terminology, but I'm just not quite sure what you mean by that. So here's the deal. I'm gonna smoke a little bowl, and then we're gonna talk about what I meant by that, by you know, the amount of money that you have in life and how life is responding to you. Hi, Bianca. I'm going to email you back. Going to bed now. We'll watch this tomorrow. Good night. I hope you're doing good. I'm going to email you as soon as I get off this live. But you can always just sign up for a reading through my site if you can wait. But if not, then we have to figure out, like, pricing and like fitting you into my schedule, because yeah, but I'll email you back shortly. Sometimes we trigger people without even trying. Yeah, it happens to me every day. People trigger me every day and they're not trying. I mean, I don't know. I think the message was a little condescending, but, you know, they also thought I was being a little condescending, so maybe it wasn't. It's all perception, which is literally what I was saying in the video, right? It's all about your perception. About to get my cart. Nice. Oh, nice, to smoke. Okay. So first of all, we're going to talk about how to outsmart the government. And then we'll talk about, because that's going to be a very quick little lesson. Okay, let me read what Yana said. I finally quit my super toxic job. Good for you! Now the universe, and that is so perfect with the daily reading today. That's so perfect with the daily reading today. You go first, the universe catches you, right? Yeah, so we'll talk about how to outsmart the government. We talked about this in one of the last videos. And then we're going to talk about the money matrix. People have been asking me for advice on the money matrix, and, like, I have advice for you, but you might not like it. Like, people are like, you know, they want this advice, and then you give it to them, and they're like, well, that's wrong. And it's like, okay, well, it wasn't wrong for me. It worked for me. But the thing is, it's like, it's triggering, right? People get freaking triggered about money and about abundance and about the systems. And everything. So I'm just gonna share. You ask for advice, guess what? You're gonna get it. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to fucking take it. But here you go. Cosmic Agency is a YouTube channel that presents Pleiades in direct contact with humans. Ooh, I am gonna check that out. I did in the past, like maybe like a year, 2.5 years ago. I will also explain this too. I'm gonna get back to the old style of my channel because I tried channeling Pleiadians and I don't like being a host. I don't like letting them use my body. That's really uncomfortable for me to have them just use me as like a vessel and talk through me. I mean, they already do, but I'm in full control. Like I'm still here. The host is still here. Like, and so that kind of channeling is very uncomfortable for me. But I'll definitely check them out. It sounds like what'd you say it was? Something agency? Cosmic Agency. I'll check them out. Yeah, money is a sensitive topic. People get really butthurt about that. Yeah, so I think Tarot Tuesday will continue as long as I have the energy for it. We do have a spell Tuesday. I know people really like it. So it will continue as long as I have the energy for it, but I'm also going to go back to like my style of reading where it was like I was posting on Fridays, I think it was, and I was like doing the like drunk reads, and it was like I was actually like in my kitchen and I was editing the videos and stuff. Basically, guys, what happened was like, if I'm being honest, I could cry right now, but I haven't been like, I don't know how okay I've been. Like last year, I said it, like I finally admitted it at the end of the year, around December, that like it's been one of the worst years of my life since I escaped poverty and homelessness and like my abusive relationship and everything like that. It was just, there was amazing, beautiful things happening, but there was horrific, unsettling, terrible things that happened to me last year too that were horrifying. Several horrifying, traumatizing situations infiltrated my life last year. And if I'm being honest, I really haven't been that okay. I've been pushing through, and I can be like that. Like I can be like a workaholic to avoid my problems. And I was pushing through, but basically doing the readings like that, it's a lot of work. Like it's a lot of work to pre-record it's a lot of work to clean my entire kitchen, then set everything up, then pre-record everything, then edit it, then save it, then upload it, then get like everything timestamps, doing it all myself. Like it's a lot of work, and I really haven't been okay. Like some days, some weeks, I don't fucking brush my hair for like weeks, and then I'm like struggling, which is one of the reasons why I loved braids as much as the internet hated it. Like braids, let's be real, if you have the hair for it, that's a great option for someone if you're like depressed or struggling or not able to like really take care of yourself. Goes back to the whole idea of like the protective style. I think it can protect different things, because like you hear about the stories of people who don't brush their hair for like not just, you know, black people, white people, like if you don't brush your hair for a long period of time, it's gonna dread. And then I have like really thick hair to begin with. I have very naturally coarse hair, and so it's like there would be weeks when I literally wouldn't even, like, looking back on the year, I was not okay. I wasn't okay. And so me doing the readings, how I began doing them with like the lives, was just a lot easier. And like most people in the world, despite how horrible I was feeling inside, I was still pushing forward and I was working. But for me, my work is me. I'm the face of my work. I'm the only one running my business. And my life is plastered all over the internet all the time. And it's crazy because people will think they know you or act like they know you when in reality, the internet is only what you share. Like, I still remember one of my friends had said to me at one point that I'm probably like the most secretive person she knows. And looking at me, you'd think I wear everything on my sleeve because of how much I do share, but there's so much about me that there's a lot about me nobody knows. I've talked about, I feel like I'm having deja vu. I've talked about this before, but anyway, I stopped doing those videos because I just wasn't good. And that's the thing about putting yourself on the internet, right? Is like, no matter what, like it's just like if you go, let's say like for example, when I worked at the pizza place, if I went into the pizza place and was having a hard time, they might be like, "Hey, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Then we move on, right? It's not, it's just different. Like, so basically that was me like clinging on for dear life, trying to continue to provide content in the best way that I could. Me starting Tarot Tuesday was me trying to get back into YouTubing because I was having such a hard time doing it. And then the Daily Tarot was also a way for me to hold myself accountable. And also I was pulling the tarot for myself anyway in the morning during the day, so I figured I might as well just do it for the collective. So, yeah. That's that. Yeah. For me, it helps a lot to do twist braids before bed, and the same happens to me in 2 days. It's so matted in the back. Same, especially when you like lay down, like where you lay on your pillow. Like, I know, girl, I know it gets all like same. Oh, I love you too, Lizzie. Saving to watch later. Busy right now. Hi, Sam. Love you too. Braids protect the energy and your magic too. That's literally why, that's why I got them, because Spirit said they needed me to have close, like they wanted me to have antennas basically. And people online got really fucking offended about that. Mind you, like I've said this a million times, never once did I get a rude comment or a nasty glare or a negative approach about the braids on my head in real life. I've said it before, at least once, if not twice a day, I would get a compliment on my braids when I went out, and it was always from an African-American person, and they were so sweet. They were like, "They look amazing on you! Who did them?" Like, the thing about the internet is it's not real, right? Like the arguments, the problems, the they got my pronouns wrong! She wore braids on her head! This isn't real. It's not like that in real life. It's not fucking like that in real life. If you find yourself going way too down this rabbit hole of cesspool of negativity that social media can become, remove yourself. Spend some time with real life people, not NPCs hiding behind a fucking keyboard. And go hug a tree. None of this is real. Even with me right now. I'm literally like projecting through your black mirror. I'm a girl in my living room. But I'm not really in the room with you. We're not really having a conversation. I'm talking to you, I'm responding to you, but even so, wouldn't I be the worst friend in the world if this was real? Because I'd never give you a chance to respond. I'd just be blah, 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 but that's how it works, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just me in my house. Me and Cornica. You're not here. So, yeah. Forgot where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, I was just doing bad. So, doing better now. And it almost feels like I'm finding myself again. Like, feels like I'm finding my drive, and like, I feel like I've been lost for a bit. I think I've been lost since that bad mushroom trip, and it feels like I'm finally coming out of that. So yeah, I'll have more content like that coming. You and your gifts help me more than you know. Thank you, Madison. I'm happy to help you. Thank you for being so selfless, kind, loving, and giving, and overall so pure and bright, Nikki. Thank you for being you and for giving us all guidance in spite of your personal challenges and lessons. Thank you. It's really sweet. Doesn't make sense. It is just hair. Exactly, but you wouldn't believe, like, if you look back on the video where I have braids and I'm in Karen's massage room, it's like dark and I have braids. There's like 20 people in the comments talking about how ugly I am. Oh, Spirit done did her dirty. Look at her. She's so ugly with those braids. Oh, she must be talking to demons because Spirit would never make her do that. Get those braids off your head. I'ma come cut those braids off your head. Like, literally, I like Blair White. Somebody literally just, and I don't care if you do or don't. I'm not here to change your opinion on anyone or anything. That's another thing I have a fucking problem with. Don't be up in my comments telling me, I'm gonna heal you. I'm gonna teach you. Sorry, you're just uneducated. I'm not uneducated. For one, if we want to be really technical, I'm one class away from my bachelor's degree. I just never finished it because it didn't work out that way. So for one, I'm not uneducated, systematically speaking. For two, I'm not dumb. I'm intelligent. I can think for myself. And for three, I have life experience. And no article that you're going to show me to counterpoint whatever life experience I had is going to change my mind. You're not going to sit there and say, well, I read this, and this spiritual guru said this, and the New York Times said this, and CBS said this, and I don't give a fuck, because I lived that's the problem with people who live on the phone, right? They're not having any real life experiences. I don't give a fuck what Fox News says. Fox News is out there talking shit about starseeds. That's an agenda. Talking all this shit on how people are mentally ill who believe in spirits and aliens. Fuck you, Fox News. And fuck you, CNN. You're the other side of it. And I bet you'd shit talk starseeds too, because you're all evil motherfuckers. Every fucking news anchor you look at is a fucking puppet. They don't even look real anymore. Like, is anybody else, okay, this is a controversial topic that's gonna piss people off, but is anybody else sick of plastic surgery? 30 years old, born in 1992, and remember when everything was normal? Remember when only celebrities got plastic surgery and we laughed at all of them because they eventually plastic surgeryed themselves into oblivion, ruining their bodies and faces? I'm not saying that was right. That was low vibrational too. But what's the obsession with medicalization? What's the obsession with V's? What's the obsession with pills? What's the obsession with surgery? I am very sick of plastic surgery faces. There is something in me that has such a visceral response. Do you know why? Because everybody's starting to look like AI. Everybody's starting to look the same. Nobody has fucking defining features anymore. I look at you, you look like a blow-up doll. Like, you look like an AI sex robot. You don't even look like a person anymore. You got these big lips, you changed the entire structure of your face, your eyes are like this because they needed to be, like, I know it's gonna come off rude and foul. And I'm not saying, oh my God, too, I don't want you to think that, like, I think all people with plastic surgery are ugly or whatever. I'm saying I can see the beauty in it, and I can definitely see the beauty in it, and I can definitely see why people do it. I have tattoos. I modify my body. I'm not gonna hate on anybody for body modification that makes you feel better. I'm saying I wish people still looked like their lineage. It's honestly so offensive, I think, to the ancestors that literally shed blood before you and, like, birthed you into creation. Like, you just it's like that Melanie Martinez song, What a Waste, when little girls grow into their mother's face, right? It's literally like that. All the makeup in the world won't make you less insecure. You know, like, it's about getting to those deep-rooted issues and healing from it, right? Like, I was watching this lady do ASMR, and I thought she was great, but I was like, I wish she didn't look like an AI sex robot right now. She just had the same face that all these NPCs have. I'm so sick of everybody having the same face. I just remember I'm at an age, I was born at a time where it was like before any of this nonsense and propaganda and bullshit. And it's like, and I'm going to say it again because I know it'll be in the comments. I don't have anything against you if you want to do that. But guess what? Just like people get to come on my fucking YouTube channel and say, oh, you're so ugly with braids. You're ugly. You're ugly. I'm not sitting here saying you're ugly. I'm saying I'm sick of the agenda around surgery. I'm sick of the agenda around medicalization. And I'm sick of looking at the same face on this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. What the fuck kind of example is that setting for your kids? That is a slippery slope, I'll tell you. Every single tattoo on my body has a spiritual meaning. I can give a reason for every fucking tattoo on this body. What's the reason when your 3-year-old who you think is beautiful because you see God through them and you see your inner child through them and you love them and they come up to you and they say, Mommy, why are my lips so much smaller than yours? Why doesn't my nose look like yours? Why don't I look like you? That's fucking sad. Then you have to explain, because I thought I was ugly. You look just like me and I got this work done because I thought I was ugly. That's fucking sad. That was a side rant. Don't know much about Black China, but saw how she's taking out all that shit, ass fillers and stuff, which is pretty cool to see. Like, I think that plastic surgery may be turning around. You know the fucked up thing, though? First of all, Black China is one of the worst human traffickers. There are multiple TikToks about people escaping her. So she's, like, worse because she does it a lot, but she's worse because she's bad at it, too. But, isn't that... It's literally what I was talking about on my last live. How the Kardashians sold you this thick, fit body, and now they're all, like, anorexic. It's the same thing every time, right? So now that they made all this money getting people to change their bodies and everything, they're going to make all this money getting you to take it out. Right? Right? And isn't it interesting that the influencer got it done, saw it wasn't good for her, and now she's having it removed? Just like these influencers are out here literally taking diabetic medication. The Kardashians are stealing diabetic medication from people who actually have diabetes in order to destroy their body and go on a crash course anorexic diet because this medication suppresses your appetite. We can all do that. Don't sit here and tell me it's your teas. Oh, it's my women's vitamin and my teas and a healthy, clean diet and working out. Oh, yeah. And my illegal medication that I take to stop me from having any hunger, and then I just work my body into the ground. But, you know, I'm rich, so I can just go out and get whatever medical help I need whenever my body shuts down from these medical things that I'm doing to it, from taking these medications I don't need. I'm so rich, I'll just get the help I need immediately when I need it. We are not, all I'm going to say to you guys is we are not influencers. We are not the wealthy. If you do, like, some people get fucking sick from the implants and then literally have to fucking afford, after they afforded to put them in, afford to take them out. Not to mention, find a doctor who will actually acknowledge breast implant sickness. It's like a huge problem right now that they're pretending doesn't exist, like they do with every medical problem that they cause. They create a false problem. Ooh, your boobs are too small. That's a problem. Men won't like you. Men will like the girls with bigger boobs better. Let me tell you something. As someone who's a member of the itty bitty titty committee, you can't even see I got titties under the sweatshirt right now. I hated my boobs. I literally hated my boobs until I met one guy who was like obsessed with them. He was upset. He was like, these are my favorite titties I ever seen in my life. You know? And then I was like, oh, wow, men like that exist. Society would have me believing there's something inherently wrong with me and my genetics, and that no matter what, no man is ever going to love me for who I am. No matter what. You could be the best person in the world, but sorry, you got small titties. And then in that moment, I knew, okay. And in that moment, I just knew. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I can be accepted for who I am. And so they create this problem, right? No one's going to love you because you got small titties. So now they put the implants in you. And now that has created another problem because the products that they're using are so low quality that your body begins to reject them because the price they spend on what they're putting in you versus what they're making off of you in the procedure is like criminal, right? So they created one problem and then gave you the solution because that's what they always do, right? So then they gave you the solution. Oh no, it caused more problems. So then they got to give you another solution. And now you're going to have, now not only are you left with the little titties you had before you got the breast implants, but now you have scarring and more than and you've been given the runaround and lied to by doctors. You probably have had a hard time finding someone who will even remove them. And then, now the problem, now that you actually have them removed, you probably have even lower self-esteem from all the ways that the doctor has hurt you and told you, like, you know, that you're just full of shit. And now you have scars too. And do you know what else? The root of the problem was never reached. Your insecurity was never healed. They said, let us just cut you and shove stuff in your vessel and see if it works. Oh, it didn't fix your brain? That's weird. Shoving plastic into your boobs didn't fix your brain. It's so weird. So weird how those two things don't connect. Sorry. I'm just going on a rant. For real, I was bullied as a kid for my big Greek nose, so I got a nose job, which later collapsed. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I straight up missed my old nose so bad. It was beautiful. Let me tell you something, Nug Blood. I love big noses. That is one of my main attractions on a man or a woman. I love a big, beautiful Italian nose. Like, I love Italian noses. But I just love a big, beautiful nose. As dumb as that sounds. I love a big, beautiful nose. Oh my God, I could cry tears of joy. I love a beautiful smile, beautiful eyes, and a big, giant nose. I love it. I love it. I'm so attracted to it. Love it on men and women. So that's what I'm getting at. I know I'm saying it in a rude, kind of angry way, but I am sad for people that, you know, because like I said, I thought my whole life no one would love me because of my little titties. Nobody loves me still. Just kidding. Someone will love me romantically. But at least I know they exist. At least I know men like that exist in the world. And that my person will love my titties. Hi, Teresa. Yes, they're new glasses. Do you like them? It's a marketing scheme. Yes. The moment I started getting downloads about AI, it's convenient for school, but I'm glad I'm not the only one. I want to see what you said about. The chat GPT is designed for human demise. No bueno. Looks great, though, but keep an eye on it. What is that? The chat, what is that? I feel you. I was always made fun of because of my nose. Everyone always asks when I broke it, and I haven't. It's a family trait. Oh my God, that's horrible. Still learning to love it. Well, I love your nose, Sasha. I think you have a great nose. Shelly, you hit it on the head with the convenience factor. You're definitely not alone. We may be outnumbered, though, but it's coming down to quality, not quantity. I like riding big noses. You said it, not me. You said it, not me! But I agree! There's nothing that feels better on your clit than a big old nose, baby! I'm telling you, other than a tongue. But when that's all going on, come on. Come on, guys! Woo! That just made me warm. Literally made me warm. I still think they're beautiful. They feel good, yes. They also, I've been told, are attached to the heart chakra. So when you love someone's nose, it's because you love their heart. But yeah, that's definitely a factor. Everybody's laughing. It's horrible that society pushes these beauty standards onto women. I went to the mall yesterday and they only had low-rise pants. Yo, fuck you, low-rise pants. You know what that... Low-rise makes me feel like I have a gut. And let me tell you, this bitch do not have a gut. I started to express my lower belly a little more because I want to love it, and I know someday I'm going to have kids, and it will never, like, it might not ever look this beautiful again. It might look more beautiful. I don't know. But I'm just trying to love it as it is. I am not fat. That's something I'm learning. I'm realizing I have had horrible body dysmorphia, and which is another thing. Most of the time, the root behind these, like, plastic surgeries that people want is literally body dysmorphia. It's a mental illness. Treat the mental illness. Don't just shove. What if you went to the doctor and were like, I've been really depressed. And they were like, have you tried getting a boob job? They'd never say that. So why is body dysmorphia, it's either being written off as you're trans or it's being completely ignored and just get surgery. Just get surgery. Just fix your body, right? Like, it's crazy. It's a crazy time to be alive. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because anytime someone would say shit about my nose, it would hurt my heart physically so much. Yeah, and also you're saying it's a family trait. Your ancestors were probably also picked on and abused for different things throughout time and space, right? No matter what lineage you come from. I don't care where or what you come from. Somewhere along the line, your ancestors struggled for you to exist today. I don't care whether you're black, white, Asian, fucking blue, purple. I don't care. Your struggle and hardship. Take no prisoners. Not to mention, I say it all the time, there's been slaves of all different races throughout all of time. Okay? And we're all such a mix at this point. There's no way that your ancestors didn't struggle to get you where you are today. Okay? I'm sure even your parents have struggled in some way to get you where you are today. And it is an insult, I think, to the ancestors. Aww. Can we please as a society celebrate originality and unique qualities again like the 90s? Yeah, we were way too much coming into union. They had to like throw some fucking brainwashing and plastic surgery in there. Aw, you're right. There's so much beauty in those unique features and how it shows heritage. Sasha, I understand. I'm sorry. You will get there with the self-love for your nose. Hell yes. It's an AI program that literally answers anything you want. It writes original letters, essays, and literally anything. Answer for quizzes. It's insane. And this is why I just, like, can't, like, I feel like I need to, like, I just feel like society as a whole is in such a dark, ugly place that it's, like, why would you want a robot to, like, write a letter for you? If you're, like, thinking, like, you're like, oh. First of all, if you're thinking about writing a letter, write the fucking letter. Because people don't really write letters anymore. But, like, it's just gross. You know what else I'm really concerned about and very disturbed by? AI girlfriends, chatbot girlfriends and boyfriends, and things along those lines. That's really, very disturbing for me. I actually think we're going to see an uptick in, like, sexual assault and stuff when that kind of thing happens, because it's taking away... If you're talking to a robot, you can say and do whatever you want to that robot. That robot doesn't have a body. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't, First of all, it's creepy. Why do you want to see, like, a naked cartoon? Because some of them will have sex with you. Second of all, why do you want to have sex with a robot? Weird. weird. And then third of all, I think we're going to see an uptick in like, so someone was making a really good point that women are not usually incels and involuntarily celibate, if you don't know what that means. And I'm not saying that because like women are superior or whatever. I'm just saying I think there's a certain kind of entitlement that a lot of men are brought up with in society to women's bodies and to sex. And it literally radiates entirely through our culture, our global culture. Some places more severely than others, but there is absolutely an ingrained entitlement that is socialized into men, into unhealthy, male dynamics. And I think that the incels, I know some of them are probably like really normal and nice, but usually isn't it the people who feel slighted by women or feel like entitled to women? I'll give an example from my life. My acute violent essay that sent me into a spiral when I was 21, literally my friend, we were watching TV and he was like, so I heard you're friends with so-and-so. Happened to be a guy I slept with. Yep, we're friends. Okay. Then I also heard you were friends with this person. Yep, noticing a trend here. Yep, we are friends. Yep, okay. Noticing you're friends with this person, right? And then literally lists out like 3 guys that I had slept with that he knew. And he was like, well, you and I are friends. And you owe this to me. And that's when my entire world fell apart. Because someone who I trusted in my home, who I thought was my friend, saw me as nothing more than a vagina. That's also why I get mad about the whole like trans thing when these like trans men are trying to act like they have a period. No, you don't. You don't have ovaries. You don't know what PCOS is. You don't know what a yeast infection in a vagina is like. You don't know what bacterial vaginosis in a vagina is like. You don't know what it's like to get raped in the vagina. And you never will. I pray that if and when you get surgery, that never happens to you. But even so, it's still not going to be the same experience as me because you do not have a natural vagina. That's why it makes me very angry when people look to, and isn't that too, like these men who try to say they have periods and like they have the designer coochie and everything like that, they have the designer one. Why would you want a raggedy old natural one when you could have a designer one? That's literally male entitlement. That's why I say these people are not really trans. Because if you were really trans, the first step in your transition would be to respect women. If you want to be a woman, you should probably respect them. Not talk shit about their anatomy that you're trying to recreate. And I do believe it's socialized. I think we as women are socialized differently. And I think that going back to where this topic started, I think that with the rise of the AI chatbot, I think we're going to see a rise in crimes against women. Because I think it's going to feed and fuel that entitlement to women's bodies. Because, well, my AI bot lets me stick it in her ass all I want. And now my girlfriend saying no? Well, I deserve this. There's nothing wrong with this. There's already so much there's already so much entitlement around women's bodies. There's already so much devastation when it comes to sexual assault with both women and children because we are a vulnerable subset. That doesn't make us any less than, doesn't make us weak. It literally makes us more vulnerable. It's just science. And so I really worry about the AI girlfriends because I think we're going to see an uptick in crimes against women. There is an ET civilization that is 25% male and 75% female. I'm going to have to check them out. Ugh, you slept with all my G-friends? Me too? Nah, we the opposite of that, right? Right? Like if I found out you slept with all my friends, I'd probably be like, "Oh, not sure about you now." That's so true. We really are the opposite of that. Whereas they're like, "You slept with people I know? Well, you better sleep with me, stupid bitch." I never felt like more of a piece of garbage than when I was being violently sexually assaulted. So, yeah, it's just it's very dehumanizing. And I think the rise of the AI is just moving us farther from our humanity. It's patriarchal programming. They carry tampons around, but have never used one. Yeah. People are disgusting. They are. They are. You don't owe him shit. That's horrible. Yeah, I know. You know what, though, guys? Like, honestly, the entire story is horrific and really graphic and horrible. That's why I'm not gonna get into it. But he stalked me after that. He would, like, threaten me. He was, like, a rapper. He threatened to have me killed. He would come to my house and knock over my mailbox. He'd stalk me at work. We worked in the same place. He locked me in the freezer. I worked at Big Y. He locked me in the freezer. He would restrain me outside of the cameras and kiss me, like outside of the view of the cameras. He'd corner me in the back rooms. He would just walk by my entire shift. One time, me and my coworker tallied how many times he walked by. He'd just walk by and go to, like, remind me that he's like, don't tell anybody, you know, I'm watching you. And I laugh because it's so uncomfortable. I'm just a 21-year-old, like, trying to figure this shit out, you know, while all my childhood traumas flooding to the surface of my brain that I had kept in a vault. But yeah, he walked by something crazy like 60 times in 2 hours or something like that. Like, it was horrible, which is why, you know, why at the beginning of the video I was saying I don't blame anybody for abuse. When I honestly had mental breakdowns recently because I was like, it's not fair that I had to go through as much as I did, but I can't change it. It's, like, sad for me that my soul and my body went, like, when I look, if I truly looked back on everything that I've been through, and I'm not trying to say my trauma's worse than other people's or whatever. All I'm saying is I've gone through horrifically extreme experiences of abuse and systematic oppression, even though I'm white, go figure. That was my point today, is that the system can only hold you down. And when I say systematic oppression, I say mental health system, I mean poverty, I mean homelessness, I mean trying to claw my way out of, like, this capitalistic hole that you can get yourself in. Yeah, cornica. But yeah, so I'm not judging anybody for anything they've been through, but I had a bit of a, like, screaming session with God. Like, are you kidding? It's not fair that I had to keep doing this, that I had to do all of this. It's hard to unpack it all, and it all connects to the other, you know? So it was a horrible time in my life. And then things just really, really, really just kept going downhill from age 21 to 25, I think. That's when it all started coming back together. Shout out to Cornica. Shout out to Cornica. Yes, Whitney, I'm gonna get in that. Sorry. What about changing your mindset about money so that the government doesn't have a hold over us? Yes, we're gonna get into that. I'm sorry, I'll put a timestamp. Wow, 50 minutes in and I haven't even gotten to my point. That's so gross and weird. They felt entitled to you at all. Honestly, I dated an incel. It really comes from a huge insecurity, self-loathing, sexual frustration. He was putting himself in this hole. I'm glad I came in his life and opened his third eye. Hey, that's really helpful. He may be a rapper, but we are Italian. We don't play that shit. Yo, you should have heard my sister when... You want to know something crazy? This same person who got me tried to get my sister, but my sister's way more scrappy than I am. I try to scrap, but I'm just a little lover. And every time someone's tried to beat me up, they've succeeded. I've definitely held my own, but I can't scrap. This dude literally, trigger warning, every time I try to claw away, he'd pick me up with one hand. He's like over 6 feet. He'd pick me up with one hand and put me back with one hand. Like, I didn't stand a chance. I was barely 100 pounds at that point and 5'2". So he actually tried to get my sister, but she got away. So you should have heard my little tortellini sister when I told her. She said, I'll have his body in a vat of acid, unrecognizable by tomorrow morning. And I was like, no. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Saying we didn't deserve that. This time period has definitely got me mourning and feeling all the crap. I feel that. You teach me to dance. I'll teach you to dance. You teach me to scrap. Okay. Bless your heart. Thank you. I too have been through multiple decades of various chronic abuse since early childhood. 2 weekends ago, there was a flood in my basement due to losing power for the past week. Oh, I'm so sorry. Fucking gross. I'm glad you made it out. Me too. Half I've been going through all the paperwork and all the pieces of my life puzzling, including pictures and death certificates. Tonight I realized how much I've been through. Yeah, it's crazy, right? This is empowerment. We ain't victims no more. Hell yeah. Cat's out of the box. All right, let me smoke this bowl and then we'll actually get into the point of this video. I was like, I'm not gonna go on long. I have to answer my emails and I have to do a spell. Then tomorrow I'm taking myself on a date. I'm going to my favorite ocean space and I'm gonna take myself to the aquarium and yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have a great time. Thanks for keeping me on track, Whitney. Oh my god, look at Corn. Hi, Corn. She's looking at the smoke. Hi. Hi. I love you. Why are you having crying eyes? Didn't even burn any incense or anything. Maybe because I was using bleach earlier. Cornica, you remember when she was being, if you've been keeping up with the dailies, you know she's been all over that apartment next door. This bitch decided to take a piss in their garbage can. Thank you, Corn. Definitely the best place you could have chosen to take a piss. But you also could have just walked next door to your box. It was really weird. It was weird. So I walk in there, I'm like, what's that smell? I'm like, oh, it's the garbage. I better empty it. So I'm like, I didn't put anything in this garbage to make it smell. And I go to take it out. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? She took a piss. I recently went to the hot springs where I live, and it was so healing and rejuvenating for me. The last 3 years have really done a number on the collective. It's important we all recognize just how much we've been through together. I agree with that. That's why I'm making this live, because I'm just tired of, like, I could have been rude. I could have said a nasty comment, but instead I'll just come on here and talk it out, you know? Yeah, I know, right? What the hell, Corn? Because I don't want to argue, like, if someone's supporting me, you're obviously, like, if you're leaving a comment on my video, and this isn't the first comment either, it's not just like a random passerby, you've left me nice comments before, you're obviously supporting me. So, why am I gonna, like, argue and be rude with you when you clearly want to support me, you like me, you know? Corn, do you need water? Sorry, she looks really weird. I'm gonna give her some water because she was struggling to get water out of her little cup. Here, Corn, are you thirsty? Yeah, I can tell. I cleaned this cup. Give me a cup. Here you go. Here you go. Okay. Let me actually get some water. This video was not supposed to be this long. I just get to ranting. I don't know why. I feel like a broken record. All right. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. So here's what I was saying. You saged? Cool. Thanks for doing that. Maybe I'll get some sage going too. $3D to $5D. Let's talk practically and interdimensionally and spiritually. So 3D to 5D. What I want to tell you is I feel like I've been talking about on the daily readings, and like I've been reading from numerologists, astrologers, and hearing from other diviners, we are at the precipice of completely ending and closing out the cycle that we started in 2020. Now, obviously, there's still things that we need to move through, but basically I feel it's the cycle of suppression and giving away our power, as well as systems ruling over humanity, as well as 3D being the truth. Now, 3D was always an illusion, right? What we see in front of us is not necessarily real, because I can see this whole physical reality that surrounds me. However, there are also 13 dimensions that science recognizes. So that modern science recognizes. We are in the third dimension. There are 13 outside of ourselves that modern science recognizes. So it would be very ignorant to think that there are not other entities, energies, or life forms in these dimensions outside of ourselves. Right? I think that's a pretty easy concept to understand. So when we break it down that way, 3D is not all that's real. Yes, this is real in the moment, but it's not all that's real, because we know in ourselves, because we trust our gut, we trust our instinct, because that's what kept us alive before there was government, before there was internet, before any of this, right? All this woo-woo shit that they tell you isn't actually valuable is exactly what kept you alive. But it makes sense, because they don't want you alive. You're way more valuable to them unhealthy, sick, or dead, because then they have less humans they need to try to control, right? Hence all the population control that they always try. So to think that this is what's real is no longer going to help you. So we started to see in 2020 the demise and collapse of the systems, right? If 2020 taught me anything, it taught me that none of the rules are real. It taught me nothing's real. Literally nothing you see around you, none of these systems, none of these agencies, government body, anything. They can just, like, literally, like, it blew my mind that they could be like, sorry, you're all non-essentials, stay inside. How is that allowed? And then there's a rule in life, right? For example, let's use one example. There's a rule in life that you have to pay your rent. or else you will get evicted. You do not have a place to live if you do not follow said rule. No, sorry, well, because we're just gonna wing it and get rid and just change all the rules at once, now you can still live in your house and not pay, and you know what? We haven't really thought about it for the landlords. Screw the landlords, but just trust us. We're just changing the rules. Like, it was in that moment when they were able to lock down an entire planet that I knew nothing was real. That I knew all of this was BS. All your debt, all your student loans, all your schooling, it's all part of an old system. None of this is gonna fucking matter. That system died the day they changed all the rules. That system no longer held any merit or worth the moment they themselves admitted that it didn't. Because it was one big illusion, right? You have to pay your rent. You have to do this, you know? How do you just get to change the rules for a short period of time? Like nothing about it made sense. Nothing about it made sense. It was a very weak attempt to bring on the NWO. And I'm not going to say it because I want this video to stay up. But it was a very lackluster, poorly thought out way to try and destroy humanity's evolution. And because we were evolving, cosmic disclosure is coming. Recognizing what is real outside of what is in front of your face is coming for everyone over the next 10 years. I'm praying at least within the next 10 years, hopefully much sooner. But I feel 10 years is when everyone's going to be like, damn, they're really, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to, I'm not going to be, like, it's not going to be, oh, yeah, Dutchess says she has a gift, but I'm really skeptical and I don't believe in any of that. So it's really easy for me to discredit her because science doesn't recognize it. Forget everything. For everything you've been taught anyway is a lie. 3D to 5D, baby. Matrix hacks. Everything, pretty much, that you've been taught your entire life is a lie. About history, about everything, about having to fall in line in these systems, about taxes, all of it. It's all just a big dumb lie. And like I said, they discredited themselves the moment that they admitted that none of it really even mattered. And all they kept talking about, right, is the new normal, new normal, new normal. New normal they're trying to bring is the NWO. That's not my new normal, but I know sure as fuck that nothing will ever be as it was. Ever. I'm different now. The world's different now. As Lizzie said, we need to all recognize that we went through a collective mass trauma together. And some of us worse than others. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like my lockdown honestly was pretty easy compared to most everyone else's. I was freaking out because I knew what was happening, but I don't answer to a corporation. I don't really like, you know, I don't really have a lot of friends to begin with. So it's not like I mean, I did lose some. There was some shit I went through, but I'm not going to act like it was the same as someone in Australia who couldn't even get mail. You know, they cut the mail off for them for like over a year. They were like, you had to fill out like packets and packets of paperwork if you didn't get V'd just to get groceries. It is a basic human right to have food. You know? Like, and that's what I'm talking about, the 3D, even thinking about it, like, it's a basic human right to have food, and people go hungry every day. People go thirsty every day. People die from starvation every fucking day. Population isn't the problem. The setup, the society, and the class division, the extreme gap between those making the rules and those living out the goddamn rules until they say, never mind, peasants. Do as we say differently now. Well, what the fuck? We're just shit, right? No, we're gonna make a new system, but we have to believe in each other. We have to unify, which I guess is good that I'm even doing this live to hash everything out and all of the things I was feeling before, saying I'm not your enemy and I'm understanding you're not my enemy, right? Like, we have to come together and we have to make solutions together. But obviously that's why things are failing and crumbling and falling, because it was bullshit in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I lost my train of thought a little bit because I got a little sidetracked about how angry I got about all of it. But yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like my like it was horrible in Australia. They really tried to bring in the NWO in Australia. They tried the damn best. They really tried, because Australia doesn't have weapons. Australia can't fight back, you know? And yeah, so basically every system that you've ever known became became moot the second things locked down. And if you're in school and stuff like that, like, please don't take offense to that. Please don't think it's like fruitless or whatever. I'm just saying, if they can say you're essential, you're non-essential, what makes you think in the future they will say, well, you know, liberal arts degree doesn't really mean anything, but, you know, chemistry, that means something still. But anything that's not, you know, math and like, I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen, but why can't that happen? They literally showed us they can do whatever they want. They can piss all over us however they want. So why wouldn't they do that after they got you to spend all your money at an institution? You know what I'm saying? Like, there were accredited doctors speaking out on the tyranny that they, like, tried to take their, you know, licenses and everything. And when they literally went through the system to get the same license as the next person, and were just being honest before it was, you know, before you're allowed to be honest. Before the honesty was so abrupt that it could no longer be censored. So I guess in the past, the 3D has ruled over us. That's not where we're going. This realm has very little control over you. And I understand, because I'm human too, and I let it get the best of me all the time. I let the government get the best of my emotions. I let injustices and suffering get the best of my emotions. And it's no way to live. And so we have to understand that as we end this cycle, March 2023, when we step into this astrological new year and this new moon in Aries, we're stepping into the timeline where we defeated evil, right? Because look at us. We're not in their plan to create a dystopian reality didn't work. Their plan to mandate the V didn't work. Their plan to turn us against each other, it didn't. Some people, yeah, we lost some people along the way, but the real ones, they rock with us, right? It didn't work. So first of all, congratulations to us. Give yourself a round of applause, because even though it was really rocky in the beginning and a lot of people let it get the best of them, enough people stood up and created enough freedom and set boundaries. That was another big lesson this was, right? This was a collective lesson in boundaries. And wow, as a globe, have we been deeply, deeply brainwashed and conditioned to put ourselves last and our needs last, and to think very low of ourselves. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I believe the cell towers put out waves. If everything in life is energy, everything in life is waves, I honestly believe that when they started putting up the cell towers and everything, I believe they are sending out subconscious energetic frequencies like binaural beats. You can go look up binaural beats on YouTube right now. You can get binaural beats for anything. You can get them for healing. You can get them for lucid dreaming. It's a certain frequency, like at the Travis Scott thing. People were saying the music, the sounds they were playing, it made me angry, it made me hateful, it made me scared. It's a binaural beat. Spirit told me those were death beats. They were getting people riled up. They want you riled up so that you hurt each other, right? And then they can feed on your pain and sorrow and suffering. It was a big sacrifice ritual. Those same binaural beats, I think they put through no, I'm not trying to blame anybody for the abuse and the suffering that we're experiencing at the hands of the Matrix. But what I'm saying, why I'm making this live, is to make you aware of some of the abuse and suffering so that you can be kinder to yourself, so that your rebellion can simply be loving yourself, choosing yourself, pushing yourself forward on this journey into your purpose, never giving up. And then through that is where the abundance comes, through choosing yourself. How they say in like an unfair world, like being fair and kind and loving is rebellion itself. I'm literally doing that. I live that every single day. And I could go into the like 3D reasons why I'm justified to talk on this topic about the poverty and the homelessness and the abuse and the suffering that I've had to go through. But I think if you're watching this video, then you can understand and just trust the credibility in my voice if what I'm saying resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's okay too. It doesn't have to resonate with you. I'm not for everybody. But instead of going into the very 3D reasons why I have like authority to speak on this subject or why it worked for me, I'll just speak about what I did. And so yeah, going back to the cell towers, I do believe that they send those frequencies out. So be kinder to yourself, because literally your air is poisoned. Your food is poisoned. You know, they just admitted the next thing they're going to, mark my words, the next medical cell that they're going to try and force on you is cancer treatment. They're going to tell you 1 in 2 people, they just acknowledged 1 in 2 people have cancer. And they just acknowledge tap water causes cancer. So first thing I'm going to say to that is take all of that with a grain of salt and trust your gut. And if they offer you something free to do with cancer, free treatments, free testing, I'd advise that you follow your gut and your own. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. But I'd advise listening to your own body, your own gut, and your personal doctor before you go and do anything rash, collectively, medically. Stay away from collective medical movements, like we were talking about in the beginning, the plastic surgery, the V, the obsession suddenly with this diabetic medication that curbs your appetite. Right? There is an obsession towards collective medical, how would you describe this? Collective medical, instant gratification is how I would describe that. Collective medical instant gratification. That's what the V provides you. That's what a pill provides you. That's what surgery provides you. Right? That's what I would call it. So yeah, remember, there's a lot of odds stacked against you. Your air is poisoned. Your water is poisoned. Your food is poisoned. Your mind is poisoned by TV and the phone. And maybe you also like to drink alcohol. And maybe you also like coffee. And maybe you really like sugar. And, you know, everything is against you. Everything, the systems, everything's against you. I'm not telling you this to make you feel powerless. I'm telling you this to say, you've survived thus far. Give yourself some damn credit. It all starts with recognizing, whoa, I'm living in a world that wants me to die. Let me put it that way. I'm living in a world, we are badasses, says Catherine. Yes, I'm living in a world that wants me dead, yet here I am. No matter what odds are stacked against me, life always finds a way. I'm always finding a way. I'm not giving up, right? And that's really where it starts. And it's in valuing yourself enough to say, yeah, fuck these systems and fuck this and fuck that, but valuing yourself enough to say, instead of being like, well, I might as well just give up. Everything's stacked against me. That's exactly what they want, right? It's about valuing yourself enough to say, nah, I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna be that thing that they can't kill off. I'm gonna be that success story that's gonna provide hope and comfort for other people, like I'm doing for you right now. How easy would it have been for me to off myself? Tried to a few times, didn't work. Decided, well, didn't work. Better do something better with my life because this isn't working. Right? I made a choice. How many of you, like, I get emails every day. I get comments, people thanking me for my help. And that's not me being braggy or me being self-absorbed. That's literally me observing a fact. That's another thing that's been drilled into our head, is like being overly humble. Being humble is important, but you also need to give credit where credit is due. It becomes self-destructive at a certain point when you can't show yourself any gratitude or credit, right? So what the hell, think about how many people I might have saved from killing themselves too. You know, it's just crazy. And that's why I hate that Canada is having assisted euthanization of humans now, because the main two reasons you can get on it, there's so many people that want to do it. There's a list. That's sad in and of itself. Why wouldn't we fix the problem? Why would we line people up to go get murdered? Like, are you kidding me? That's what I feel like taking your life is. It's murder. You're literally murdering yourself. You are murdering your vessel. It's assisted murder, if you ask me. You know? And so it's like very sad for me, because the two main reasons you can get on the list are poverty and mental health issues. Literally what I survived. Literally what I clawed my way out of. You know? The upbringing and the experiences I had from childhood to young adulthood presented me with some really difficult mental health shit. There's no more dangerous place than your mind when it's not healthy. I'll tell you that. But I persevered. And there was no quick fix for it. I started that journey at 21. I'm 30 years old, and I still try every day to do my best. I have therapy at least once a week, if not twice a week, when I'm having a hard time. But at the end of the day, I just realized it's not my fault. You know, I was born with this DNA, and I was born in the family I was born into, and I had the experiences I had because I believe in the Akashic Records. I believe I signed a contract for that, and I'm just doing it. And instead of giving up, I'm working with it. You know? And I guess that's all I'm trying to say when I say the amount of money and energy flow you have in your life starts with the choice, and the choice is choosing you, and choosing that you deserve better, and choosing that you're worthy, and choosing that despite everything that's stacked against you, no matter how many odds are stacked against you, because there will always be odds stacked against you. That's what this is. It's a game. It's a matrix. It's about, hi Zesto Pesto. It's about choosing life, choosing yourself, and yeah, moving forward. Even if you feel like you can't. And support. I really can't stress enough to have like support. Like, so that's what I feel I'm providing for people, because, you know, even if you have no friends, that's why I was like, I can't just like I have to think. I can't just send this mean comment, because like I have this platform. People look up to me. I can't like be a bully, right? And so if this person's here on my page, it's probably because they're getting something out of my page. So it's that unity energy of like choosing to like, you know, choosing it's not to be mean, not to feed the hatred, not to let all that pain and suffering make you reenact that pain and suffering onto someone else just because they don't understand you or where you've come from, you know? And yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But that's why I was like, I can't just delete the comment or like be angry at the comments or send back a rude comment, because it's just not, that's the reality we're leaving behind, right? And that's exactly what they want. Oh, what I was saying about how I'm providing something for someone if they're watching my channel. I've had no one to. I've had no friends. I've had no support. I've had no one to talk to. And I definitely got solace in creators. feeling at home with creators, you know? And please, guys, I will say, I am very human, and I'm really learning a lot about being a human. So if ever I'm snappy or rude or mean, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm simply saying just remember I'm human and that I'm probably triggered too. So, because I feel bad. I have snapped on people in the past, or like, especially, you know, I've been on YouTube since 2019 and I did a lot of growing over the years. So I've definitely snapped on people. I've said shit that's like not okay. And I can look back and see that now, but just try to remember I'm just a girl too, just trying to figure it out. And, yeah. But anyway, about the 3D no longer really being relevant, I have channeled, and I also know Elizabeth April had channeled, that our our junk DNA, the DNA that they tell you, oh, it's junk, doesn't do anything. It's junk, right? Like, no, it's literally intergalactic DNA. You only use 10% of your brain. I think that as a collective, we're in this like collective slumber, and I think that the only way to part of our brains had been shut down, and I think the only way to access them was through trauma, and I think that's why I have I 100% accredit my empathy and psychic ability to the trauma and abuse that I've been through, because it opened up parts of my brain. Dissociation and trauma open up parts of your brain that you would never open without those situations. It's scientifically proven, and also it's scientifically proven that not everybody's brains have the ability to dissociate. I used to hate myself for the way I would dissociate, but I actually learned that if you can dissociate, you have a higher level of intelligence, and you have basically unlocked a survival mechanism, which we already knew it was a survival mechanism, but still, some people's brains physically cannot do that, and then they die. So it's like, or not die, like it eventually causes their death, right? Because if you couldn't dissociate between very traumatic systems, there's no way you'd come out of it, right? So, situations, not systems, sorry. But so I believe now the children that are being born, how they're prophesized as like rainbow and crystalline children, I think they're being born into families and bodies that support that energy with enough galactic DNA that the trauma piece is not going to be necessary. Their brain's already going to be open and activated in ways that regular humans here on planet Earth haven't previously been able to open. Now, as the veil thins as well, and we shift from 3D to 5D, it is very possible for humans to open in my belief, to open their brains without that. I think it's possible now to open your brain without all the trauma. It's like a muscle. You can't just go to the gym once and think you're gonna be buff. You won't be. You gotta work it like a muscle, baby. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's another major shift we're gonna see. Also from 3D to 5D, be aware and be mentally prepared, because you're probably gonna start seeing things with your real eyes. Real eyes, real lies, real lies. Ah. That's gonna be us as a collective. You're gonna see shit with your real eyes, though, and that can be jarring. As a psychic who usually sees stuff in my peripherals or in my third eye, when I actually see stuff with my real eyes, I'm like, whoa. It's a little jarring, because you're not used to seeing it in this third dimension. However, like I said, the third dimension is going to matter less and less and less, and so we're going to be seeing you might see fairies, mermaids, dragons, like the elementals. They're going to be among us. They're going to be less dense than us, but we're going to start integrating our reality into theirs. And I was saying all that junk DNA that they've been trying to suppress with the injections, and nanobot technology, like this is literally all in scholastic paperwork. If you look in the right place, it's false consent, right? Just like with the Balenciaga thing, it was like false consent. I should honestly do a whole video on Balenciaga, but it's so dense, it's so 3D 4D. Well, I guess it's 4D because the 3D doesn't even recognize it's real yet, collectively. But anyway, oh yeah, the DNA, our DNA, are, like I was saying, how the systems are going to matter less and less. So it's going to be, basically, just imagine that spirit and God are going to be, and source, however you perceive source, are going to have way more say over the realm than the dictators, than the physical dictators. So someone was complaining about the systems when in reality the systems lost their merit a long time ago, as I was saying, about like when everything locked down. And so even if it feels like everything shouldn't work out, spirit, the more faith you have, not only in yourself and your ability to co-create with the universe, but the more faith you have in the universe and your guides, the more things that shouldn't work out are working out. I'm going to give the perfect example. One of my clients had a drug test, and she had smoked some weed, and I gave her an invisibility seal and cloak to work with Baal. She passed the drug test. She was literally stunned. She was like, I have no idea how on God's green earth. She was like, there's no reason why I should have passed that test. Miracles, baby. Miracles. Even like I said, if everything's stacked against you, miracles. There should be no good, solid, scientific reason for this, but it works out anyway. That's what we're stepping into. If you believe, you can keep yourself in the 3D, get left behind, like I said in the title. Keep yourself there if you want, but why the fuck would you want to stay there? Why would you want to stay in such a limiting space? You have the free will to do it if you want to, but come with us. Move with us. Don't you want to come? I can't make you. That's something I learned during COVID too. I can't make you. I can't make you research. I can't make you choose yourself. I can't make you do what's best for your body because I don't know what's best for your body because I'm not you. COVID taught me that. So I'm just saying, come with us if you want and start believing it. Seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing. That is the cycle we're stepping into. Less and less of what has always been real it's not gonna make sense. Everything that's happening isn't gonna make sense. You're gonna have to trust it. And let me tell you, the humans, the people who are even more human than us, they're gonna have a hard time. Like, can you imagine if you have a good relationship with your dad? Can you imagine your dad seeing a fairy and just being cool with it? No! Like, if my dad saw a fairy, he'd be like, huh? Like, he'd be like, huh? You know? Like, it's just like, so hold space for the humans in your life, you know? Because we're gonna get a little crazy. What else? Oh, the DNA, that goes for medical stuff too, okay? Your intergalactic DNA is going to be more powerful and override your human DNA. And this is with this goes back to the whole cancer scare thing. We will have the ability to heal ourselves. We already have it, but it's going to be way easier to access. You will have the ability to connect to your star family and get tune-ups and ask them before you go to bed tonight. If you don't want to remember the abduction, say, listen, I'm not ready to know, I'm not ready to see, but I give you permission to benevolent star family only for my highest and greatest good. I give you permission to turn over my cells, activate my DNA as necessary, and I don't want to remember. Or maybe you do want to remember. I do want to remember. Please let me remember my dream or my abduction, whatever. As our DNA activates, it's going to override the human DNA. So, like, perfect example. Everybody looks at me and they're like, how are you 30? You don't look like you're 30. I don't believe you're 30. There's no way you're 30. Because I'm Benjamin Button, bitch. I look better than I ever have. One of my fucking clients was like, I have, like, 2 kids, and I look better than I did before. What would society have you think? Society will tell you, oh, sorry, kids are gonna ruin your vagina and your body. bye-bye to your hotness once you have babies. No, that's dumb. Shouldn't a woman become more valuable after? Not that we should place value on women, but shouldn't we think, wow, what an amazing thing you've done? We shouldn't shame her for it. We shouldn't be like, Jesus, look at those stretch marks. We should be like, you grew a whole baby. Then you either had it cut out of your body through several layers of skin and muscle and fat and what? Huh? Or you pushed it out your actual vagina. Like how squinty I am right now is how amazed I am that women do this every day, all day, and people have the nerve to be like, it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. You have stretch marks. You're less valuable. And then it's crazy to me too when people try to hate like single moms and stuff. Or I guess it happens to single dads, but I mostly see it happen to women when it's like they try to act like, oh, she's worn out, like, and she got a kid, and but it's like, dude, somebody knocked her up and then they abandoned her. Like, it's backwards. It's weird, right? So we already see that, you know, what society tells you isn't true, right? Like I was saying about having the babies. Some people, after they have the baby, they're in the best shape they ever been in their life. Like me. I'm 30 years old. If you told me at 16, Nikki, you will be the healthiest, happiest, hottest, strongest, fittest, most healthiest version of yourself you've ever been at the dreaded 30 years old, I would have said, you're full of shit. That's not real life. But it's the truth, right? And things are going to get weirder and weirder. Things are going to get less and less, they're going to make less and less sense for the 3D. And your galactic DNA is going to override your human DNA more and more. And your features could actually shift. So for me, I think that, I find Italians have a lot of reptile DNA. And a characteristic that I notice in people with high levels of reptile DNA in this life, very high cheekbones, gaps. If you have gaps in your teeth, that's very reptile. Which is, I think, side note, I think why, well, first of all, I think the Britney Spears that we see now is a clone. I don't think that's the same Britney. If it is, wow, sad, sad, sad for that vessel, for everything that she's been through. But I think that's why she suddenly has a gap. Because if you know anything about, you know, the reptilian hybrid attachments that pretty much go hand in hand with fame and fortune, eventually the reptilian attachment starts to overtake the physical vessel. I remember learning about this a long time before they had named, like before they called them reptilians. I would like search deep on the internet, and they called them krill, C-R-I-L. And they would call them these disgusting, like, parasitic, reptilian-like creatures and attachments. And when the krill, it attaches to the spinal cord of the human. And when the krill begins to overfeed on the vessel, or the vessel can no longer handle the attachment, the teeth and the hair start to fall out or shift. So I think that's why Britney Spears suddenly has a gap for the first time in history, because I think the reptilian hybrid that's in her body is fighting for dear life. I think her soul is powerful and strong. I can see why the Free Britney movement has gotten so much headway, because it's like she was very special to all of us, and she's a very talented, special, powerful soul in a lot of ways, especially to have survived everything she has survived and continues to experience, because there's no way she's not being handled. If you understand MK Ultra signaling and the Freemasonry signaling, you can look at the symbology, because it's false consent, right? They put it right in your face. You can look like the heavy eyeliner, that's a signifier of panda eyes, which signify being abused. You know, all her weird shenanigans where she's like saying like sentences that don't make sense, like it's all the blonde hair, the fact that she's constantly blonde. It's also an MK Ultra programming thing that they do. Like whenever Kanye goes back into like the mental health place or whatever, right, there his hair's always dyed It's bleached blonde and pink and blonde. Just Doja on the cover of that magazine like this with blonde hair right after she was being all like, I quit. That's to signify that she's no longer in control of that vessel. Look, we can do whatever we want. We can make her do whatever we want. She's trapped in here. We reprogrammed her. I think Britney Spears, Kanye West, Tila Tequila before she passed away. I think she passed away. Britney Spears, Kanye West, Tila Tequila, Doja Cat. I think she's one of starting. And Demi Lovato. I think they constantly break their programming. And that's why when you hear about the celebrities that have to keep going back into rehab, it's literally just them going back into their programming. And even Kanye West just exposed all these like he just exposed all these texts between him and his handler being like, we're sending you away, bye-bye. Like, when people start saying, like, when celebrities start saying weird shit and, like, going off like that, like, or when they start to express, like, this is evil, I don't want to be a part of it anymore, you'll notice then they'll start to say things that will discredit them. Like then they really start to, like, kick in their programming, and now it's like, now he's a Nazi! And it's like, he's not making sense, because they're trying to discredit him and make him look bad, right? And I'm not saying that those views are okay. I'm saying I don't think those are his actual views. I think he's having a mental breakdown. I think he's like cracking his program and he's like, and he's saying like stupid, basically think of it like a misfiring. His brain is like misfiring, right? Tila Tequila did literally the same thing. She became a Nazi when she like, so here's what I think happened. So she got in with the heiress, the Johnson & Johnson heiress, and then Casey Johnson passed away while they were dating. And she was supposed to go on some talk show, but made a fool of herself to the paparazzi in the era of paparazzi, right? Which, why was that even allowed? Why were the paparazzi allowed to stalk young girls like the way, like, Lindsay Lohan and Britney Spears? Like, when I look back on how we grew up and then you wonder why we're so fucked up, like, are you kidding me? That was just... Everyone was like, yeah, it's fine. Why? People making like a calculator trying to like counting down to when the Olsen twins are legal. Like, why was this okay? Like, it's just because it's not. But so I think what happened was she had already set up an interview, because I don't know what happened to Casey, but I think they knew about what happened maybe sooner than most other people did. It might have been organized. I have no idea. But I know she had agreed to do a talk show, and when she went out and talked to the paparazzi, she was so drunk and high on whatever that she let it slip that she was going on this talk show before the talk show said she was going on there. So then it was like they had to completely discredit her and make her sound dumb, because I almost feel like it was like she was in the loop and she was getting into the scene, but she had a big mouth. And so it was like, I think she was like breaking her programming constantly. And then that's when all of a sudden she turned into a Nazi too. And then I'm pretty sure she passed away. So interesting how that happens. But just as they are programmed, we too are programmed. Oh yeah, I was talking about Doja. Yeah, her like that is them showing you that she's no longer in control of the vessel, and the pink hair shows that they've been like splicing her and fragmenting her, and doing MK Ultra, which is trauma-based mind control that usually involves LSD. And when you see Lady Gaga is, I love her. I was a little monster till I learned how evil she was, but at the same time, she's just playing a part, right? We're all just playing a part in this existence, and who knows what karma her soul has gotten that has put her in the position she's in today, you know? But she does it a lot. Like, she'll just be like slow motion moving because her programming is cracking. That's why Demi Lovato says the dumbest stuff. She says and does the dumbest shit because her program is constantly cracking. You know, that whole... I didn't even watch the documentary, but I already know it's not what they said it was, you know? But, okay, that's so creepy. Yeah, it is creepy. It's all very creepy. Speaking of being drugged, when Marilyn Monroe was singing Happy Birthday, I just found out she was intoxicated while doing it. Dude, the woman was constantly like this. That is like, she looks so high all the time. But I guess, okay, with all of that, remember you're programmed too, okay? We're all programmed because these same celebrities and influencers that are under MK Ultra, trauma-based, split personality mind control, and then on top of it also have generally a reptilian hybrid that's attached to them. They literally shaped and molded our brains at really, really impressionable times in our life. And they shaped and molded our peers' minds. So then we acted out on each other like this divide and conquer dance has been going on since the dawn of time, and really since we fucking popped into this reality. So just remember, you have programming too, and that as we step into the 5D, that programming, you can let go of it and you can leave the 3D behind if you want. You have free will and you have the opportunity. I'm going to look at some of these comments. I'm going to smoke a little more, and then there's one more thing I want to talk about, like a hack for the government. If Amanda Bynes wasn't MK Ultra, then who wasn't? Literally, right? Okay, thank you for saying that, because I just went down a rabbit hole of like Dan Schneider. I've gone down it before. If you really want to feel upset about if you want the nostalgia ripped out from under you, go out down the rabbit hole of like Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. Also Ariana Grande. I look at what they had her doing as a kid. It's sad. Like, she definitely, like, there's really shady lit stuff. Amanda Bynes, yes, definitely. Like, it's just disturbing. All of it's just so disturbing. There are videos of like backstage videos of Amanda leaning on Dan Schneider and like rubbing, she's literally going like this in the video, rubbing her boob on him because they clearly have some sort of sexual relationship. There are backstage videos of her with like blood in her mouth and like chunks of blood, and like, honestly, when I thought, I was like, well, could be menstrual blood. And she's like, like she's clearly on something. Just like Ariana Grande, there's like this video of her being like, oh, my pussy's out, and she's like 12. She looks like she's on acid. Like she looks like she's on something. When Amanda has this blood in her mouth, she's like, like they look messed up. Do you know what the interview was? Do you know what the casting call was for Nickelodeon shows because they had foot fetishes? It was to run around with your shoes off and make it seem like you were having as much fun as possible with your shoes off. And you just had to go, ha 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 ha, I love being barefoot. Like, that's literally how they would it's messed up. So just as you unpack all of this, remember that you're a victim of this as well, because we've been, and think about how much they've brainwashed us in front of our face. Imagine if there's subliminal messaging under all of that too. You have no idea what kind of subliminals could be in, on, or under whatever it is you're consuming, right? Yes, Schneider supposedly is the father of Jamie Lynn Spears' kid when she got pregnant at 16. Yeah, and honestly, her daughter looks more like him than she looks like Jamie Lynn. There's this song from Pink Guy called Nickelodeon Girls, very disturbing. Oh God, I might have to sit that one out. Just because she was famous doesn't mean we aren't all connected and can talk to other energies. Yeah, agree. Yeah, just keep it respectful. Not sure what's going on in here. The sex push on us millennials was insane. Yeah, and think about it. Guys, please don't be mean to each other in the chat. Don't attack each other in the chat. I'll have to put you in a timeout. Put user in a timeout. Sorry, I don't want people being, hi from the Ukraine, hi. I don't want people being mean to each other. I completely lost my train of thought now. I forgot. All right, let's smoke this bowl, because I forgot, unless anybody remembers what I was talking about. Nickelodeon. Sorry, Dutch, I'm not being mean. It's all right. Okay. Yes, Whitney. Oh, sex in the media. Yeah, and I was saying about little kids. Think about there's no barrier. There is no barrier for kids now. Like, kids have cell phones, like, they could literally, I know there's child locks and stuff, but you can literally just, like, look up porn. Like, everything is at their fingertips. There is no protection, there's no representation, and there's no barriers for children in this society, you know? A pregnancy, yeah, I was talking about, what's up with all the, oh my God, bloody yes. What's up with all the feces imagery in kids shows and toys now? I hate it. I think it's so foul and disgusting. I think it's very, very, very disturbing. And do you know why? I never thought it was funny. I never thought poop was funny. But then I had a mouse a couple years ago come in under my sink, and it pooped everywhere, and I was like literally like frozen in like a state of dissociation cleaning up all this poop, and it made me, I just remember thinking in that moment, poop is not funny. It is not funny. It is very disgusting. But that's the thing about these people, right? Is they have very disgusting fetishes, right? They, not saying like if you have a feet fetish, you have nothing against you, but I'm saying if you literally, if your sexual preference is children and you're an adult, you have disgusting fetishes. So you probably fetishize poop too, because you're nasty. Not judging anyone, but still, it's gross. We gotta put a cap somewhere, right? So foul, says Shay. Yes. And the sexual violence that's prevalent in our societies and media. Yes. That's like what I was talking about earlier about how I'm really concerned about these like AI girlfriends, because I think there's gonna be an uptick against crimes against women by incels, angry incels that are like already have an entitlement to women's bodies. I think giving them free reign of a virtual female embody, it's just so insulting. First of all, like, you think you can duplicate me through this robot? Like, it's just gross and weird. I really don't like it. But I think we're going to see an uptick against violence against women because it's going to even more dehumanize us. It's sad, but I never understood the popularity of the poop emoji. Thought I didn't get it because I was so old. Dated an angry man with a love doll. Don't miss him. That's scary. No offense to anybody who likes those, but like an angry, violent person with one sounds scary. When you are in the zone of spirit or other world, does your body lean to the side, but you're actually not moving? When you open your eyes, you're straight up. That's your soul, like, that's your soul. That's how it feels when your soul is like floating out of your body and your grounding cord isn't quite doing what it's supposed to do. So when your grounding cord is like frayed or loose, it can give you vertigo when you're trying to come in and out of your body. So I heal grounding cords on people a lot, but you can also, if you can do it yourself, great. If not, then find someone to help you. but you can just imagine this light-bodied cord or rope, and I want you to look at it and find the spot on it that's frayed or like loose or stretched, and just repair it with like golden white light. Sew it up, tape it up, whatever you want, but you have to get your grounding cord back in equilibrium. Question, in a spiritual level, why is the divine feminine and divine masculine seem like it's always in this battle against each other, at least what I see from the 3D? So if you watch I channeled Osiris, that was really good. When I channeled Osiris, he was talking about how like a lot of the like human trafficking and stuff that's been going on underground is coming to the surface, and it's further pushing this battle of the sexes. But also, the main objective of our government is to divide and conquer, and one really easy way that they've done that is through the battle of the sexes, through pinning men and women against each other instead of men protecting women and standing up for the women, and then women being able to provide nurturing love and support for the man in return, you know? But that brings me to my last point. I hope nobody's feelings are hurt in here. I hope nobody's upset, but I can't control it. I don't know what was going on in the chat. But, alright, so the last piece of advice I want to give you for the government is to be aware when they try to trigger your suffering and inequality wound. So let me give some examples of how they like to do this. They like to trigger your suffering and inequality wound through, with the gun owners, it's taking away the Second Amendment. They usually people want to own a gun for a reason, right? And sometimes it's the wrong reasons, but most of the time it's the right reason. Most of the time it's for their own safety, their own protection, and to, you know, be able to provide a safe space for themselves and their family, especially if they've been through things or their family has been through things. It definitely is something that can provide that sense of safety, right? And you know, God forbid the government did ever come knocking on your door. Wouldn't you rather have a gun? Okay, I'm glad you love us. Okay, good. I didn't know what was going on in the chat. But sorry, I'm getting distracted. Let me turn off the chat. I can't, I just smoke a bowl and I can't with the chat. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, so guns are fun too. Like someone was saying in the chat, it is fun. It's fun to go shooting when you know what you're doing. They should be treated seriously. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? It's literally a lethal weapon. You should absolutely take it seriously. And there are certain people who shouldn't fire them, and you shouldn't fire them if you're in certain headspaces. And there are a lot of strongholds and protections in many states to make sure that that is the truth and that is the case. Like, I couldn't even get a gun in my state because of my mental health issues that I've had. I had to, like, which is fine. I accept that because it makes sense, right? It makes sense. So, yeah, but like, God forbid the government came knocking on your door, right? Wouldn't you rather have a gun? Especially if they had guns, wouldn't you rather have one too? You know what I'm saying? And they're like, hey, we're coming to take you to this concentration camp. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but wouldn't you want one? So it's like the suffering and inequality wound gets triggered in people who really believe in guns for the right reasons, right? So then they freak out when they try to take the Second Amendment. And then for the women who have experienced certain suffering, inequality, and hardships within their bodily and having full reign and control over their body and full bodily autonomy, you tell them, we're taking away abortion. And then, of course, they're going to freak out because it's triggering their suffering and inequality. Because most likely, like, you know, I think it was like 10 years ago, it was 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. It's got to be higher now. So when you tell a woman you don't have control over your body, it's very triggering because more than likely they've had some sort of sexual abuse. It's the statistics, man. It just is how it is. It's really fucked up, but it's the truth. So then they trigger your suffering and inequality wound, and you say, no, I know what it feels like to not have control over my body. No way, no way. I'm not letting that happen again. Freak out. Yell, scream, upset, cry, feeding. What do? They feed on that. They feed on that, and then it creates further division. Because maybe this girl's boyfriend is like, I don't get what you're so upset about. And she's like, of course you don't. Of course you don't understand. You're a man. And then now they're fighting, right? Or let's say the gun owner and the non-gun owner. Of course you don't get it. Of course you don't get it. Someone who's never experienced a violent crime. Of course you don't understand. Okay? Or how else do they trigger this suffering and inequality wound? Racism! The whole George Floyd thing. Man, did they run with that. Man, did they feed off of all of us. Man, did they play that shit up. Of course Obama with his greedy ass had to run up in there and be like, ooh, clout? And definitely, like, when I tell you he's one of the most evil of them all, one of the flat out most evil of them all, you know how much he ate that shit up? He ingested the pain. He ingested the suffering, the heartache, the cultural, like, upset. They love it. Let me tell you, no politician is your friend. None. Some are less evil than others. I could even believe some are not evil, but at the end of the day, they're all human, and humans are light and dark. No influencer, no celebrity is your friend. They're getting paid to influence your brain, and they aren't even the puppet that you see in front of them. They're telling me to tell you to go. Ash Nico is like, I think they bred her. I think they made her in a tube. I don't know. Maybe she was a baby? I don't know. Billie Eilish, I think they bred her too, because she was like doing silks, and she's really talented, and like she also looks like she comes from the same DNA as Kesha, because when you look at them together, they look like they're related. But like Ash Nico, they're telling me to tell you to go look up, she got her legs waxed, like, while she had to sing, and it was definitely a humiliation ritual. They do that a lot, like the humiliation rituals to these, to feed on their suffering, right? And then you consume it, and you make them money, and then they feed on their suffering, and they consume your money, right? With your eyeballs, and then they get in your brain. Watch her eat a hot pepper and sing, and then get waxed and sing. It's actually really disturbing. So don't watch it if you don't want to see that, but if you're not mentally prepared. But that's how you outsmart the government, by not letting them stab you directly in your suffering and equality wound. Because I don't care who you are. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what your gender is, what your sex is. I don't care where you're from in the world. Every single human that exists has suffered and experienced inequality in some way at some point in their life, because humanity is flawed, and this is a polarized reality where you can't be perfect all the time. So that's a really easy, quick fix to divide and conquer. Stab them all in separate inequality and suffering wounds, and let them eat each other alive. We must band together in unity and against our true enemy. The true enemy is the 1%. They know it. They're just, it's so foolish because once we actually get on our shit, they're done for. That's why they're so desperate, because they're done for, you know? All right, I gotta go. Let me check the chat out though. They do the most outlandish things to get that attention and energy. Literally, they got that man a gold casket, and now we're paying back for it, right? We're paying it all fucking back. Every check we got, we're paying back tenfold with the inflation. They bought that man a golden casket to feed off of your hatred and division. Our hatred and division as a collective, I'll say, not your. I'm like so traumatized, I'm saying it from a third person point of view. But they bought that, it spent all our taxpayer money, and then they gone and changed taxes and made it harder for us to get our money back that we should have never had to give them in the first place, because they don't put any of our tax dollars into anything that benefits us. And they never ask for our consent before they spend our taxpayers' money. More lives like this? Yeah, definitely. Holly tree is even demonic. Whoa, I don't even... Oh yeah, the holly tree. Like, everything has roots, but everything they do has roots back in witchcraft. They have just you should watch my video on Satanism. They basically just they pervert everything. They take everything and they flip it around on its, like they steal the sacredness and then they somehow inject their evil into it. And it's like, they know how to ruin everything. Like how I was talking about on another live, how like the Nazi symbol, Hitler literally stole that. It was like already someone else's symbol. It was like a Hindu symbol, I believe. And it meant like really good things. And Hitler just stole it. That's what they do too. They're like, oh, sweet evil eye. I'm literally gonna like slit a person's throat over it and use and harness that, and then it's like, and then now everyone's scared of... You remember, like, I remember when I was just saying that, like, what, before there was all this information on the evil eye and stuff, I was like scared of it. And I think it's because they use our symbols for evil against us. They use them against us without our consent. Yeah, they twist all religions. Still waiting on my tax money from 2022. Doubt I'll see that. Damn, that's crazy. I mean, I'm still waiting to get my taxes done. My taxes still aren't done, but if they say, if they were supposed to, that just does suck, whatever. Just to reiterate, I know I don't speak in the chat a lot, but I am going through the same exact thing you went through when you were 21, and I appreciate your vulnerability and support, even if it's harsh truth. Aw, thank you, and I'm sorry that you're going through that. Just know that there's a brighter side. You'll get through it, the other end of the tunnel, you know? Even Disney ears are 33 for Freemason, Secret Society, Club 33. I know, and the fucked up thing is, like, 3 is the number of Yeshua, and 33 is a master power number. It has the potential to be really light, but they take it and they make it really dark and evil. And that's why that's why I'm such a big believer in taking your symbols back. Take the symbols back, you know? My mom only just got her money from 2020. That is fucked up. Thank you for creating this safe space to discuss these things, Nikki. You're welcome. I hope you guys liked it. It's been 1, 2, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. I'm gonna go now because I'm hungry. And Lizzie, if you wouldn't mind putting like a timestamp, I'd really appreciate it for when I start actually talking, like channeling, so that if people don't want to hear me angrily talk about plastic surgery, they don't have to. That's just something that's been pissing me off lately. Not lately, a long time. It's just coming out for a while. Thank you. Hugs, healing, and maturity. Hell yes. Agreed. Love you, girl. Hey, April. Love you too. People think the flower of death is the flower of life. Exactly. It's an inversion, right? Can't stop thinking about that comment you made about big noses. It makes me happy because every friend I've ever told, they never noticed or like they couldn't relate. So it makes me happy that you also have had that experience. Happy New Year to you guys too. All right, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow for the guided meditation if you're coming to it. Yeah. All right, I love you. Bye, guys.